Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is Ryan, and we are back with more Unreal World today, continuing our Pacifist playthrough. This is Farmer John here, and as you can see, we're at the site of our little camp here. We've got a shelter set up, the remains of a fire just next to us, and of course, we've got our little modest stack of fish here, which he's standing on. There it is, right there. So we've actually got 2 dried pikes, 2 dried perches, a trout, and a burbot. And it's not going to be ready for at least 20 days. So this is basically an investment in our future. But don't worry, I haven't left him with nothing here. He's got the remains of a tasty roasted pike in his pocket, plus 3 breams and a trout. So we're doing better than I thought in terms of the fishing. And of course, I will just touch on, if you're new to the series, the rules we've got self-imposed are that John cannot kill or get into combat with anything except fish and of course plants. He is a farmer, so we will be doing a lot of agriculture, but for the moment he needs meat, well, he needs protein and fat to survive. So we've got to have some of that, and the fish is going to serve that purpose. So if you do want to get caught up with the entire series, I've got a link to the playlist down below. But with all that said, let's go ahead and see what we can do today. Every day we wake up, the temperature gets warmer and warmer and closer to the time when we can actually start to use our shovel and plant some of these seeds that we've got just burning a hole in our pockets. So like I said, we've got a lot more fishing to do, and we've got to be extremely careful because our net is out there in the ice. Well, it's in the water, but yeah, you can see it on the edge of the ice right there. And it's a risk going all the way out there, walking along this ice here. So I think we probably got 1 or 2 more treks before it gets too warm. And we can't walk out here without risk of falling in, which would probably mean death. If we fell in at this point in the year, yeah, that would probably spell certain doom for our character. So we want to avoid that, I think it's needless to say. So let's do our best to stay alive, guys, until the grass comes up and we can start to do a little planting. Oh boy, well, the fishing is going great. And it's interesting too, because if you look down here in the message box, you can see every time I cast, or get ready to spearfish, I should say, it gives me this message: the pike is spawning at this time of year, but not quite at this location. And then boom, I've caught 2 pikes in a row. So, I'd love to see a location where they are spawning. Maybe we could catch 4 pikes in a row, but regardless, I do feel like that is actually pretty lucky. So I've got, let's see, a roasted bream and a pike left. Let's eat this. I'm trying to be as good as I can so that we don't end up spoiling any of this food, because that would be a tragedy, especially with John's nature. Killing even the fish wears on John's conscience, you know. He's willing to do it to survive because he has to, and the fish is delicious, but he is definitely not going to be killing any kind of higher life forms, and that includes snakes or reptiles too. But regardless, let's see what we can do. I think it's probably fair to dry one and roast one, because a big pike like this will actually roast down to around 3 pounds, I think. Well, let's just find out. Okay, it smells like the roasted pike is ready. Let's pick this thing up. 4.9 pounds. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Now when we dry it and smoke it, it definitely decreases its weight even more than that, but no worries. That's why we've got to catch so many of these. And of course, my intention too is to trade some of these away. It is going to be a while before we can make that trading trip, but I think the time is going to start to fly by once we can actually plant and start preparing the ground, because it's a whole process. If you're unfamiliar with the agriculture in this game, you can't just throw the seeds on the ground and expect them to grow. You've got to prepare the soil, which includes turning it with a shovel, lighting a fire on the surface, you know, to help prepare it. So, and then you got to wait for it to cool down a little bit. But either way, like I said, we're going to go through all of that, hopefully in the near future. We'll see though. It all depends on Mother Nature, but we can see that red bar there is starting to get bigger and bigger, so that's a good sign. Well, the time has come to crawl out here on the ice and pick up our net and retrieve it, see if there's anything in here. Now, of course, the reason my character lays down when he does that is to spread the weight out over the ice. Less chance we'll fall in or crack the ice. So, but we do have to be standing when we retrieve and put our net in the water. So you can see we're literally just on the edge of this ice where the river is a rapid. It goes from a rapid, transitions to a still enough water where it can actually freeze over. So it's definitely an interesting part of the river. But anyway, I'm just stalling here. Let's pick this up. Oh, we got something. A trout. Beautiful. So that's good. I mean, I would have hoped to get like 6 trouts or whatever, but hey, maybe the extra weight would have caused us to fall in, so it might be a blessing in disguise, right? Either way, we're going to toss that net back in there, and I'm going to fall prone again. I'm always, when I'm doing this, I'm always watching the notification box, because if the ice cracks, it will tell me. Now, unfortunately, there wouldn't be much choice for me except to just, oops, I just went backwards. Yeah, just to keep going, you know. But I certainly wouldn't stand up and run or anything like that. All right, we made it. Crawled our way right back to the fire's edge. So beautiful, we've done it. And we've got a fresh trout to show for it. As Farmer John opens his eyes this morning, actually just after midnight, something looks a little different to him. Yes, that's right, some of the snow has melted, and I didn't expect it to happen this quick, but here we are, guys. This is a pretty good indicator. I bet you we can turn some of the soil with our shovel right now. It's so beautiful. The bad news is our net, pretty much a write-off at this point. There's still ice there. You can vaguely see it, and this spot right here needs to be broken if I want to get water from that one like there. But I'm not going out on this. No. So it's okay though. We'll just get a boat or make ourselves a raft. So it's not like it's lost. It's just we can't get it right now. But I'm more excited for the agriculture, guys. Look at all this open space we've got right next to our shelter. This was kind of a perfect spot, honestly, right next to the rapids, and we got a beautiful forest right here with all the lumber we'll ever need. Plus, just a whole bunch of open field here, too. And I think these are crowberries. John has knowledge of these shrubs, if we take a look. Yes, it's completely known to us, the crowberry, and they're delicious. They'll make a nice oatmeal or something later down the road. So, let's give it a try. Now, one thing we will need is some burnables here. So, I am going to grab my pile of spruce twigs that I've been accumulating. I don't really need the slender trunks. This is just for, like I said, preparing the soil. So you need to start a little bit of a fire, but it doesn't have to be a big rager. In fact, you don't want a huge fire because then you have to wait a while till the soil cools off. But we're going to go through that process momentarily. For now, let's just drop. I'm going to start dropping these. We'll do it in batches of 5. So there we go. And do that again. Got to get into the rhythm. It's very important. Move, drop, 5, enter. Go. All right, then we look. Yep, see, we're starting a little patch here. And I'm going to lay out, I don't know, a modest little square. I don't want to get too ambitious, you know, but we've got a few plants to start this month. So if we take note of the season, just below that, it says late Swidden. The month. Now, this is an indicator for growing. For all you agriculture players, this is what you're looking at. It will tell you what you should be planting right now. And hemp, broad beans are recommended, and there's a couple other things I think we have that we'll be planting right now because this is the growing season for those plants. But we want to avoid, planting things at the wrong time. But either way, I will be referring to the wiki a lot. But nonetheless, let's get started. Okay, and here we are looking at the in-game encyclopedia, the entry specifically for agriculture, and it is pretty helpful. You can see there's a lot of information. Don't worry, we're not going to read the whole thing, but the encyclopedia is something I almost never show off in my series, which is unfortunate because it's very helpful in a lot of regards, but I do have a tutorial series on this game, so if you are new and you are struggling, there's a whole bunch of videos linked down below. I've got a playlist for it, so you can check that out, and it does include an agriculture tutorial as well, but just wanted to show this off, because it doesn't give us a list of what and what plants to plant when, you do need to refer to the wiki if you want to get really specific. But if you do, you can actually get double harvests from some of these plants and stuff like that. So it is worthwhile to investigate, which is what we're doing here. So we're going to be planting in the right time of the year. But this slash and burn cultivation is what I wanted to just show real quick, because that's how we'll do it in the game. We fell trees, burn them in the field. When the fire has burnt out, the soil can be tilled. It says this is hard work, so you probably want to just start with a small field. But once the soil is tilled, the sowing can take place. You plant your seeds, and it tells you about the seasons and stuff like that. And it even says here, some fast-growing plants may even be able to produce 2 harvests a year, but you gotta know when to plant them. So anyway, let's zoom out that. And of course, I accessed that particular entry in the encyclopedia by coming to the agriculture, just opening my skills, selecting agriculture, and then down at the bottom you can see it says push F1 to launch Unreal World Wiki. There you go, so it's pretty easy to access. But regardless, you can see this is our options. Now, this is a modded playthrough. I'll stress that again, too. So I think this is all vanilla stuff here, though. Maybe the grind flour might not be. But regardless, we are going to be taking advantage of certainly some of the cooking recipes and stuff. But now, let's get down to business here. So he's got his shovel on him. We're ready to go. I haven't tested the soil because I didn't want to just dig a random hole somewhere. But we're going to try this right now. And as you can see, I've got 3 little modest fields here set up. And I did go through and drop 10. So I went through and dropped 5 more on those other stacks. So now we have a total of 10 spruce twigs in each of these piles. I just want to make sure the fire's hot enough that it actually affects the soil in whatever way is required. You know, otherwise we might have to do a double burn. So we want to avoid the extra labor. But the good news is I think we can set just 1 or 2 of these fires, and they should catch. It is raining right now, but I don't think that matters. Alright, if my guy could start a fire. There we go. So we're going to set one there, and I'll set one at this end. Oh, good, the rain stopped. And you can see I did leave a gap there, so the whole field won't burn. Well, we do want the whole field to burn, but I also wanted to have things separate, nice, neat, and orderly. So we're going to be doing a lot of crops, actually. After referring to the wiki, it turns out this is the time of year to plant most of the stuff. And we've got a lot of the right seeds. Okay, now that the fires are going, like I say, it should spread. We'll see. We'll observe it, obviously, but let's take a look at the seeds we're going to be planting. Now, the coarse seeds, they're only here because I'm trying to identify them. So I don't even know what plant that is, but that's why I've got them in my pocket. The pike is a pike. Then we've got broad beans. They're going in. Rye grains. Those are going to get planted too. Then we've got hemp seeds, and I've actually got a 16-pound basket of hemp seeds, so I might make another field just for hemp. But after that, we've got turnip seeds too, so we're going to be planting some delicious turnips. But yeah, we actually traded for this birch bark, both of these boxes and baskets here. That came from our initial trade after starting the game. So you do start with a good selection of seeds as an agricultural player, but it's a small amount. You're going to need to definitely go acquire some from the villages like I did through trading, or you can probably go and harvest some near the villages. Don't do it directly inside of a village, but if you harvest from like the surrounding fields where nobody's present, they won't bother you or anything like that. Well, I can see one of my fires went out, so let's actually try it here. Just test the soil right now, see if it worked, if it was hot enough. I don't know. Let's just go to our skills, agriculture, prepare the soil. The soil is, okay, it's not warm enough to be prepared. Yeah, so that's not enough wood. I was afraid of that. I'm going to have to put a heftier amount. All right, I think things are going a little better now. You can see we've got 3 burn pits. This actually spread over here. This one didn't spread, but I think the spreading is a good indicator that the fire will be big enough. So I'm using stacks of 30 spruce twigs, roughly, spruce twigs at the moment. Let's just test because the fire just went out right here. Now, what it should say is that it can't do it because it's too hot. Earlier it said it wasn't hot enough. So we want, the soil is not warm enough yet to be prepared. Huh. Okay, so I think we need a bigger fire still. Man, oh man. I'm going to combine a couple of these stacks then. See, the problem is I don't have an axe. Normally you'd be doing this with firewood that you chopped up from a log. But without the axe, I'm stuck with twigs. And earlier, I know I said I don't need the, what's it called, slender trunks. Well, I might have been wrong. We might need to go ahead and pick these up, and I'll drop one here too. That's got to be enough, right? I was just trying to really min-max it because I know it can take a while before you can get your first seeds in the ground, and I'm just anxious to get planting. I don't want to wait any longer than I have to, but we'll give these fires a start here. This has got to be enough. Oh, that's a blazer. Yeah, it's not the biggest fire you'll see, certainly, but it's large. So we don't have to waste these fires either. I can drop one here, push that into that fire. There you go. Now you can see it's gotten bigger too. We'll perk this little guy up here too. Push that in there. There we go. Yep, still trying to experiment. Obviously, I'm not the most advanced agricultural player. I'm usually more of a hunter and a warrior, but this is something new, and I'm having a lot of fun with it so far, experimenting and stuff. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Much more calm and peaceful playthrough compared to my last one, that is. And if you are unfamiliar with that particular series, we went through and conquered the entire Nurpezit culture. Wiped their civilization off the map. We got rid of all the purple villages in their main civilization area. But if you're interested in witnessing that, it's like, 50 episode series, 30, 50 episodes? Well, regardless, it's linked down in the playlist, or in the description where all the playlists are at. So check it out. But regardless, I'll give these things a little bit of time to burn out, collect some more wood from our friendly forest over here, and we're going to get some seeds in the ground. I'm determined. Okay, I have come to a realization. So I didn't understand what this message was telling me, but now I do. When it says the soil is not warm enough to be prepared, it's not referring to the fire that I just burnt. It's saying the time of year. It's still partially frozen, I assume. Let's try a shovel. Yep, the ground's not possible. Oh, it says it's marshland. Let's try it over here. Yeah, well, it's good enough to dig over here. So there's a hole. No way to repair that. Let's try the agricultural skill here. See, it does say it's not warm enough in this area too. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's the issue. Now we've got a hole, and I don't think I can fill this in. I've never figured out how to fill in holes, but regardless, it's not a big deal. So, yeah, I mean, you can see, too, when I burn the fire, it's actually removing the moss, and we're just left with, like, a moss land. But if we come to this area again, right where this fire just finished, and try it, soil's not yet warm enough, so... Yep, I'm not going to keep lighting fires. I will go ahead and stack the wood up. As you can see, I'm starting to make, I'm laying out at least enough slender trunks that I'm confident these fires will be good. But it's a little bit too early. Time of the year is not quite right. So I guess I'm going to go back to fishing here while I take a break from the lumber process, because we are kind of getting low on food. Let's see, all I've got is this tasty roasted pike on me. All the seeds I'm carrying around are a bit deceptive, but speaking of that, let's see. Oh, no, failed it again. Oh well, I'm going to keep trying. Our belly is starting to get pretty empty here. John is looking out at that net that's sitting in the water, longingly, wondering if there's anything alive left in that. It's been several days. It could be everything died in that trap, but I think I want to try and get out there and check. It is colder now. Temperatures dropped again. It's currently snowing. I've been trying to do the active fishing, and we've just run out. You can see my hunger. Nutrition is insufficient, so we're not at risk of dying or anything. You've got a long starvation bar, so it's a punishing thing, though. Your body does not hold up well to it, so we want to avoid it. Especially since with John, it's going to be doubly hard to recover from starvation without being able to eat proper meat and stuff. But just wanted to show off the little bit of field I've got going here. So I've got 2 slender trunks and 3 spruce twigs so far in each one of these little stacks. It doesn't look like much, but those slender trunks do take quite a while to get, especially consider John's wearing no shirt and he's constantly cold when he's not directly next to a fire. But either way, let's drop everything we don't need. I'm gonna just drop these seeds. Well, let's put them in our shelter. Yeah, properly place things where they belong. John's a neat and tidy, orderly individual. There we go. And I also don't really need these. There we go. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and lay down. We're sliding out onto the ice. And I'm watching this even closer here. At this point, on the way to the net, if it starts to crack, we just turn around and come back to the shore, But we do have to spend a little bit of time out here retrieving this net, All right, I'm going to stand up. Okay, we're fine. Let's grab it. Please. Oh, what? Oh, wrong direction. Oh, sweet. We got something. How much is that? It's not much. 4 pounds. Woo. Now, the bad news is we can't really place this net any closer to shore. Oh. Oh, okay. I need to do it right there. So this is literally the cutoff point. I couldn't do it next to me. I had to do it on the diagonal. So this is too shallow. This spot is just deep enough for the net. So we are literally as close to the water, to the shore's edge as we can get with this net. All right. We're getting quickly back. Well, whew. All right. It's good that we got a little something there. Let's go ahead and roast these 3 things up. Oh, boy. So that's going to take a couple of minutes, half hour. Let's check on our drying fish. Okay, yeah, the soonest looks like 17 days for this. Yikes. And just as a side note, too, we do have a secondary camp location right here. Yeah, we're actually... This is us right here. We've got Camp 1. Has a few fish there. It's not a very substantial stack, as I recall, but there's some fish there drying, although it's not going to be much sooner. It's like maybe 14 days at best if I get lucky, so can't really depend on that. Not for the moment, at least. John takes his last bite of fish. Doesn't quite fill him up all the way, but he's not complaining because he knows his future is bountiful, guys. That's right, the time has come. The earth has warmed and is ready to receive John's seed. Oh man, why did I put it that way? Anyway, we are here with our shovel. I'm just going to grab them all. Let's just pick up all the seeds here because I tested it and the ground is ready. But I was in a bad spot. So, and I should have known this, but it won't let us work here with agriculture because it's a moss-covered marshland. So this is like a swamp, essentially. And we can see that very easily just by hitting prepare soil. It says it's not possible because the ground is moss-covered marshland. So I did try it here where I burned off the moss as well. Doesn't work either. It says it won't work because it's marshland. Luckily, we didn't have to go and pick up stakes. I searched around over here inside the tree line and where the ground is more solid. Obviously, years of tree growth have hardened this soil, made it less, penetrated by the water. So we're good. This is the spot we can do it, and we can test it right here just by going back, doing the command. There it is. So now it tells me you must first burn some wood on the ground first. So this is a viable spot. We just got to take those steps that we talked about. So you can see I have moved everything over here. Took about 1 full day of labor, but we got it all transported. We have a bit less growing room, so I can't spread it out as nicely as I wanted, but this is still just a starter farm, and this ultimately is not going to be where we make our final home, especially not since I dug this hole in the ground here. But like I said, we've got to get some stuff we can trade, and I need an axe. That's one thing I'm realizing very quickly. We're desperate for an axe here. Otherwise, I could clear the forest a bit and make a nice large field. But regardless, guys, I think this is a good place to stop. Don't worry. We're going to start the fires on the very next episode and get this field planted. I am anxious. I know you guys are too, but hey, I've appreciated you coming by this far. I hope you'll continue to tune in for the series. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. and I will see you all on the next one. Hey everyone, I just want to give a personal thank you to my Patreon supporters. Their contributions help make my work possible, and I am tremendously grateful to them. I'd also like to extend an invitation to you to help support my work on Patreon as well. Your donations allow me to upgrade my PC and avoid the dreaded hardware despair. It also gives me more time to devote to new projects and create longer content such as live streaming. No matter what you decide, thank you for visiting my channel.